Good morning. I hope you guys are all good. So today, something a little bit different. I'm going to show you all of the cameras and all the other kind of tech that we use when we're out and about vlogging in theme parks and the stuff that we used at Disney and all that kind of stuff. Now, I was going to show you this on the dining table with all of Stevie's traditions and stuff as a nice backdrop, but we can't use the dining table for a reason that I'll show you now. Well, as you can see here, Stevie has developed a bit of a jigsaw addiction. We picked up these original 1983 Star Wars Return of the Jedi jigsaws. Stevie actually got them for free on one of the local kind of Facebook buying and selling sites. Someone had them since they were a kid in the 80s. Some of them are kind of missing pieces. You see this Darth Vader one's missing a few here. Mostly there, and they are really cool collectibles. This Jabba the Hutt one is complete, which is nice. And Stevie's kind of part way through doing this one. She might finish that one when she gets home from work later. But yes, this is why the dining table is currently out of service. Stevie's claimed it for her jigsaw building fun. So our main camera that we use while we're out and about is this, which is a Panasonic HCW580, which is a snappily named piece of kit, if Panasonic don't mind me saying. It records in full 1080p HD. And you'll notice as well we've got this Manfrotto Pixie Mini, which is a little handheld grip, and these legs also fold out so that you can use it as a little tripod as well if you want to put the camera down on anything, which is quite handy. Usual stuff, you've got a flip out screen on there, and this is quite awkward with one hand. The screen flips around as well so that you can use that as a front facing camera as well. Hello, this is like the Matrix. I'm looking back at myself looking through two cameras. Very strange. What I would say about this camera is that it's very good in the right lighting conditions. It's got an excellent zoom on it. It has 50 times magnification optical zoom, and then it uses what it calls intelligent zoom to take that up to 90 times magnification, but it can get a little bit shaky. Really, it needs to be on a tripod to get anything from that kind of magnification. I'd also say it's not amazing in low light as well. So on some of the darker places that we used it when we were out on rides at Disney World, it did kind of struggle a little bit. It's, say for example, compared to a Canon G7X, I've seen quite a lot of vloggers use those, and that is far superior in low light compared to this. But out and about in bright daylight, it's a fantastic little camera, and it's definitely, I'd recommend it for anyone who's just getting started in the world of vlogging and recording your adventures. Another useful little feature of this Panasonic camera is that it has this little extra twin camera, as they call it. This is on the side of the little flip out screen. So you may have seen us use this on our vlogs sometimes. It's just a little tiny camera on the side of the screen that just twists out and then it points back at you. In fact, you can point it wherever you want to, really. It kind of rotates around like that. So it gets kind of that extra perspective, so you can film something interesting in a theme park and film yourself talking at the same time. So it's not just kind of like a background voiceover. Now, you're probably wondering, if that's the main camera, what am I using to record right now? Well, this is my phone, which is a Hawaii P9. So this is the kind of the main camera itself on the back of the phone. And here's the selfie cam too. As you can see, even the selfie cam on this phone is pretty decent quality. We use this very occasionally when we're out and about and we don't have the main camera with us. If we're just kind of nipping into town or something and there isn't really any room to carry the main camera, it's kind of handy if you spot something that's worth filming to just be able to get this phone out and grab the footage that way. Our second camera is probably this, which is a GoPro Hero session or Hero 4 session. And we got that on this mount, which is the GoPro handler. You can see it's got a kind of soft foam grip on there, and it also has a wrist strap on the bottom as well, and this thing floats in water. So if you do wear it on your wrist while you're in water, it will float. It will quite happily float along. You don't have to worry about it kind of falling off and drifting off to the bottom of a pool or anything like that. This thing comes out of the box completely waterproof, which is a significant advantage, obviously, if you're doing anything particularly wet. We use this in the pool in Florida at our hotel. I'll show you a little bit of that footage here while I'm talking away. That's a key advantage over the main camera. So what we do sometimes with this, if it starts raining, we will use this camera for vlogging, although I try to avoid using that wherever possible, as the microphone isn't as good on this as it is on the main camera that I'm using now. But the main camera isn't waterproof, so it's no point having a camera with a great microphone on it if it gets wet and stops working altogether. Incidentally, we don't normally have the smart meter display on top of the toaster, just to point that out for kind of health and safety reasons, in case anyone was wondering. This is not a sensible place under normal circumstances. I've just moved it out of the way a little bit while I show you the cameras in here in the kitchen, while I can't use the dining table. In terms of kind of wide angle, this is the main camera, and you can see here, this is me holding it at kind of arm's length on the Manfrotto Pixie Mini, and you can see how much of this we're getting in shot now. What I will show you is a comparison now between this and the GoPro, and you'll see that the GoPro is a much wider shot. This is the GoPro. As you can see here on this shot, you can probably see a lot more behind me. This is a much wider angle lens. I'm holding this at the same length with my arm, but because it's almost got a kind of fisheye lens on this, you'll get a lot more in the shot behind me. Quite an interesting contrast. We do have a couple of other mounts for the GoPro as well. So you can see this. You may have seen this before in some of our videos with Max. This is the GoPro Fetch dog harness. You can see Max likes to run through lots of muddy puddles with it. So it straps over, his head goes through there. This goes kind of on the top of his shoulder blades, and this goes down between his front legs on his chest. And you can mount GoPro cameras on there and there, or both at the same time if you have two GoPros. We don't, unfortunately. I'll show you a little bit of footage of how this works. We don't use this too often, but I wasn't disappointed with it. It's not fantastic in terms of stability. It does tend to kind of slip round Max's side a little bit, and Max is a very energetic dog. He's very bouncy, so that the footage that this gets is kind of shaky, which is a little bit kind of. I know I said it wasn't disappointing, but it's a little bit disappointing in terms of the shakiness of the shot that you get. That's why we've not used it too much, really. The last GoPro mount that we have is this thing on my bike here. You can see it just bolts onto the handlebars there, and then the GoPro itself goes on top there and screws on. That does get a really steady shot. I've never used it in any Springy Tales videos. I've just used it to get a few videos for my personal Facebook page. May use it in a Springy Tales video at some point if we go for a day out on bikes or something like that. But I'll drop in a little tiny bit of footage here just so you can see how smooth it is in terms of that. I was really impressed with how smooth the GoPro footage is when it's strapped on there. There's no shakiness to it at all. It's fantastic. We also have these spy camera glasses, and you can see just on the end of the arm there's a little camera built in. The picture quality on these isn't fantastic, and the frame rate is a little bit slow for using on anything kind of fast moving. I used this on a couple of rides when we went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which I'll drop over as I'm talking through now. It's okay as you're kind of slow moving, and it's not shaking around too much. It can cope with that okay, but I did use them on the Big Dipper, and that was kind of less good. One, because a couple of times it felt like they were going to fall off my head, which wasn't a good thing, and the other one, when you were moving fast, the frame rate kind of got a little bit laggy, and it kind of the footage was kind of jumpy. So I will use these again. I know Stevie got these as a birthday present for me, and I do appreciate them. They are useful for certain circumstances, but I'd probably use them on kind of slow moving rides where I feel like they're not going to fall off my head. I know they are useful because most of our theme parks here in the UK do not allow us to use the GoPro or this Panasonic camera on the rides, so it's kind of useful just to have, because in most circumstances they will let you on with a pair of glasses. It's kind of useful to have these just as a alternative source of recording when we're trying to get an on-ride POV for you guys. This one doesn't record video, this one just does stills camera. It's a Canon EOS 450D. It's getting on a bit now. This model was about, or at least 10 or 11 years old. I got it second hand about 3 or 4 years ago, but I do really like it. It still takes some really decent quality pictures, and it does kind of everything that we need it to. I may upgrade to a DSLR that records video at some point when our budget allows, but that's not going to happen at the moment. You can see at the moment it's got a kind of standard 18 to 55mm kit lens on there. We have this lens here, which is a 50mm prime lens. That's by a company called Yongnuo. My parents got me this for Christmas a couple of years ago. Right, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a particularly well-known brand. This is a fantastic little lens. I really like some of the pictures that this thing takes. And this one here is a Canon 75 to 300mm telephoto lens. And again, this is a really good lens. The zoom on that is fantastic and it's a really high quality lens. And Stevie got this for my birthday a couple of years ago and I do really like this. This bag here is our normal camera bag. This is the one that we used all around Disney World and Universal and well everywhere that we went in Florida. You can see inside here, it's got inside there is a little waterproof cover, kind of like a coat that you can put on top of the bag to keep it waterproof. That's the bag for the sunglasses, and these padded flaps inside, you can move them around with Velcro as well. So you can get like the lens goes in there, you can get the main camera in the top there, get some more stuff down here. So it's quite a useful bag. It's got a little zip up flap here as well, so you can put things in there. I wish we had a little case for the SD cards, but they seem to be managing okay in there. Thankfully we haven't lost an SD card yet. There's also a zip up pouch on the front here. You can see you've got all sorts of cables and stuff in there, all the chargers and USB cables for the various cameras. All in all, it's a really handy little bag. I think this is another gift that Stevie got me for my birthday in the last couple of years. And this one gets used a lot. This was used every day in Florida while we were vlogging over there. This one is just a Duff's Messenger bag. I use this to when we're going to theme parks here in the UK. I've been using this over the past couple of months rather than taking the main camera bag, because that kind of makes it obvious that you're carrying camera gear around, and I don't like leaving what is obviously a camera bag on a platform in a station while you're on a roller coaster, because it may be tempting to potential thieves, which is a shame really, because I would prefer to use that with the proper camera stuff in. But if we're only taking one or two cameras with us, I will use this bag here. You can see inside it's got a little pouch here where you can put your keys and stuff in so they don't slide around and scratch your cameras. And then the inside, the compartment is kind of split into two. This back bit here is kind of all sealed up so that you can put your cameras in there, and it's all padded as well so that the cameras don't get bashed around. And it's also useful because this front bit as well, which is separated from the cameras, you can even carry like bits of like a bottle of water in there, any clothing, like a jumper, which is very useful, a sweater for our lovely British weather. It's a useful bag. It's big enough to carry everything that you need for a day out in a theme park here in the UK. Just a quick hello from Max before we say goodbye. How you doing, little dude? Are you okay? Are you saying hello to the Springy Tales people? You're wagging your tail on the TV unit. That's a new one. That's it for our gear overview. Hope that's been a useful little video for you. I know when we were first starting out, probably 5 or 6 months ago, I watched quite a few of these videos to get an idea of the kind of cameras that people were using when they're vlogging, and I did find them really useful. So hopefully if you're just starting out as well, you're considering having a go at vlogging yourself, this video may be quite useful for you. Or if you're just interested in tech, hopefully it's been interesting for you as well to see the kind of stuff that we use. By the way, we're now active on a few different social media channels as well. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. We're on there as Springy Tales on all of those. Love to say hello to you guys on there, chat away, share some photos with you on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, add us on there, say hello. We love to hear from you guys, we love interacting with you, and we love to get ideas from you in terms of the kind of things that we can do with our vlogs. If you do have anything that you'd like us to see or try out, any new experiences, then let us know. We'd love to give anything a go. That is it for today. We're going to try and keep to uploading at least once a week over the next few months. The theme parks here in the UK are all starting to close down for the winter now over the next few days, which is a shame. I wish they were open all over the winter, because I'd personally, even if it was really cold, I'd still keep going, but unfortunately that doesn't hold for everyone else in the UK. I think there'd be me and Stevie there and a few other theme park enthusiasts, and that's about it. So they close down and they don't open again until kind of mid to late March in most cases. We've still got a few ideas for you over the next few weeks and months to keep ourselves occupied while we wait for the theme parks to open again. Make sure you subscribe to follow our adventures. Thanks for watching. Say hello in the comments, give us a like, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.